Wow. So good morning. Next episode is up. So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I got a late start. I'm not awake yet, so you can bear with me. A pretty busy weekend this week. We went up north of the Amish and stocked up a little bit. Bought some beets and that because ours ain't up. Wow. And up there, I think they're getting 30 cents a piece for a cucumber, a large one. $8 for a quarter bushel or half bushel of pickling cukes, which are sold out. And I think we got some beets, 3 bunches for like $1.10 each, and they're probably about 2 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds each. So anyway, it's a whole other story. We may be doing a second video today. We got a lot of stuff going on. So back to the garden. It's muggy today. As I said, I'm kind of in a rambling mode today, but a lot of good stuff happening right now. So kind of give you a little tour of what's going on. So anyway, in a couple weeks, or not even, probably got a lot of our cherry tomatoes starting to turn. And currently, with the exception of one plant, I'm actually shorter than the rest of them. Over here, the okra that we had in the pot has really gone off and grown up. They're about 2 feet up here. They're actually doing better up here, I think, than in the garden for the most part. And yeah, back down to here. This is the tomato plant that looked like it was dying. We just planted for the heck of it. So, bonus blessing. And one thing with these loofahs too, we started still training them. As you can see right now, they're going over the pergola. It's a couple of them about halfway over. Invaded down here, and boy, they even invaded our dinner bell. So we're not even getting there. But they have started to form, and these are really interesting because they are really growing on a daily basis. You look up here, that's what they look like when they're first going. That bad boy is about a ½ inch across and about 4 inches long, and one that was hidden back there is going right here on one plant. We got 1, 2, there's a big one right there, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, they're really going good. Some of these could use to be hand pollinated. And moving down here, you can see the other part of it going down the side of the pergola. And right up there is what the flowers look like. So yeah, so we're getting some good ones up here. If we look around them, I think we counted about 8 or 9 of them easy that are growing. You know, some you have to really kind of look for and see if you can find one, another one under the leaves. Yeah, right up there. So anyway, right now it's about 85 out here, very humid. Says there's a chance for rain. We'll believe it when we see it. So anyway, up to the garden. Had a lot of new growth in the pumpkin and watermelon area. And soon we'll be cutting some of the stuff back. And we also probably will be taking a few more out for this week for harvesting. So anyway, this is where our cucumbers are at right about now, and 3 or 4. I think we're going to leave them go a little bit more because we still have some from last week over here, but yeah, a couple that are getting pretty big. And over here we have our patty pan squash. And this right here is about 4 plants on each side. So they really kind of took over there, and I think next year when we do patty pan, we're going to have to find another way to do it. I had no ideas for such a small squash how big they get. And over here we got our Brussels sprouts going, and look close. We are getting some started down there. And we got some of our sunflowers coming up finally in that. And this one right here is probably the winner right now, standing at about 4.5 feet. And this over here is some of the green okra that's, well, like I said, it's not as big as the other stuff down there, but it'll go. We do have a lot of bush beans started in the pots down there. And some of our snap peas have started to grow up pretty good. As I said, fighting the humidity and the hot weather does not help. These right here, these were amazing right here for being in pots. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff right here. You know, 1 week ago, a lot of these beans weren't here, or just forming and starting. The yellow wax beans, those have been phenomenal. We have probably taken about 4 or 5 other harvests and that, you know, keeping us in stocked in fresh veggies for a week at a time. And we're about ready to sit there and go through there, as well as pick some of the rattlesnake beans as well. Over here, our tomatoes have been doing pretty good. You know, our jalapenos down here have been doing fantastic. So we're getting more and more. So we'll probably be taking a few off there today. As well as a lot of our aromas are starting to go really good. Starting to get some nice size on there. Now this plant especially, right now at current time there's about 21 plants, tomatoes on one plant. So figure about the next 3 or 4 weeks they'll start turning pretty good. Over here, we're looking at two. Although they look, you know, a little nasty, some of them, they're still producing very good. And some of the big boys, I think they're called over here, starting to go good. A lot of these plants are, you know, taller than me now. And these are going to be the interesting one, called the lemon boys, when they are ready to harvest. And then there's supposed to be a yellow tomato. Inside the cage you can kind of see what we did with the beans now. And like I said, these things are just fantastic about how they produced up here these yellow Kentucky Wonder wax beans. and they're far from done. A little grasshopper down there, but again, you can see right here by the size on my hand. I mean, they're pretty big, and you know, when you cook them down, they're not really tough at all. The ones I'm waiting for, and you know, and like I said, you can see there's plenty of new buds on all of them. The ones I'm waiting for are these Chinese asparagus beans who have not yet produced, but first time growing, so I have no idea how long or when they start them. You can see right now they are at the top of the cage over there. And these, I really wish I would have planted more of the Kentucky rattlesnake beans. If you look up here, you got a real beautiful color of purple and green. And they have a distinct flavor, and they are delicious. So I think we're going to have to make it a point to get more of them. And again, too, you know, this is in 1 week of growing right here with just a few plants. They're very prolific. Little differences, they basically have a purple flower right there. But again, you know, they're very prolific in there, and they have no problem producing. Moving over here, these are going to be interesting, is the Amish paste ones. And as you can see right there, they are getting some huge ones right there. I'm just going to put my hand down there to kind of give you a comparison right there. And we got one starting to actually turn there, so that's going to be kind of interesting there in our day or two, because I want to see how these taste, what the difference is. And that one too, especially right here. That one I got my hand on there is probably about 3/4 of a pound right now. So they, from what I was told, they are kind of like a Roma, but they get bigger. So we'll have to see. You know, it took a while for it too to come, and you know, our rhubarb from last year popped up that we planted just from the rhizome. So hopefully that's going to spread a little bit further. As well as next year have them come up with some of our asparagus. So it's one of those things you have to just keep on waiting for them to come. And when your mustard plants too, a lot of farmers actually use these for a fodder crop too, but this is what they look like when they seed. And it's kind of like they kind of, from the roadside, if you look, they kind of look like goldenrod from a distance, except the flowers are a little bit different. And then right here, these stringy things, these are the pods where the mustard seed actually is, the same spice you buy in the stores or the plant. And the easiest way to get that out is grab them all by the roots when it's done, hang them upside down, let them dry, and give them a good shake. They'll turn brown soon enough. Let them all flop onto a bag, inside a bag or something, or whatever, or on a tarp. Up to you, but they're quite tasty. You kind of start to appreciate too back then, if you do decide to collect the seed, how much is actually in a 1 ounce jar you get at the store. You just kind of let the mind go around how many plants you need actually for that 1 ounce of seed. And over here, and we got some more Italian long hots coming up again on the same plants, and those are again, one of the more fantastic peppers we've eaten. And our Thai dragons are currently, some of them getting between knee high and waist high. So you look down here, you can try and find a few. There's plenty of them up there. Just a matter of finding them in this little jungle. And we did take a few reapers off in that. And you can see right here we got some more started already. And as well as a lot more of the Trinidad scorpion peppers. Down here. A lot of the basket of fire peppers are finally starting to turn the colors. Start out yellow, then go to a purple, then an orange, and then do a red when they're about ready. So a very colorful plant. A lot of little peppers off of it, and you don't even have to worry about depth in the soil. These get about a foot tall in general, and maybe about 18-inch spread. Before we continue too, another thing we did is I saw these at the restore. They were undecided, but we were going to use these panels here as a floor to enter the pergola by the garden. Which that it is on my, it's hit or miss at the restore, but it is well worth it. I got a deal on these things, and these things are about $4 in the store, new. And what they are kind of like operate on Legos, or kind of like they snap together, so give a little added stability, weatherproof. There's something kind of like the things we have up by our cross over by strawberries, and the only difference is those do not snap together, but those weathered the winter fine. And over here we have Mother Nature, I mean my beautiful wife, watering our rogue pumpkins. I prayed for rain and I got it. And over here we have a few new squash starting. We got down here. And there's a big fella over there, and wow, we got a couple new blossoms here. And our blue Hubbard squash, a couple of them not doing so good, but yeah, you see where I found that now the other day. We did have one started, and come on, there we are. There we are, finally. Our watermelons, yep, we got them started here. Over there. You can cut that up for dinner tonight, right? And over here, ooh, another big one down there. So they are going. Over here we got some cantaloupe started, and they're doing okay. As well as our pumpkins, we got lots of new growth, and yeah, the big fella right here hiding. And this right here, again, this was the 4 or so rogue pumpkins and that, and So it's constantly, every day we are redirecting them. And back here, even this squash right here, we ended up redirecting this. So in a way, if a couple plants die, shouldn't be too bad because we're going to need the room. And these have been more of a challenge, the grapevine as well. But this one right here, seems we finally got the one started. So we actually got some new growth coming in. And the goal to this is to have this entire set of wires here and the other one on the side of the table, if you can see it, full. And down here too, getting a little growth not quite high enough to latch onto the wire. So we're going to have a close one. Hopefully it holds out with the winter. And over here, we planted our second box of dill. So maybe in another 2 months or so, that'll be ready. Down here we got some nice eggplants growing over there. Got more in the middle. As you can see, our dill is about ready to be yanked over here. And then our bigger eggplants over here are growing excellent. We ended up too as well installing some bird netting over here, which yeah, that's a real fun thing to deal with every time you want to get in there. Oh well. The Friday too, when I was at work, as far as yard cleanups, you can thank my beautiful wife and the kids pitching in. Pretty much put the fire pit to use, and we got rid of a ton of scrub that was sitting there taking up room. So all this room will be reclaimed, and I got a little bit moving over by the shed over here next week to find another place for our fencing and stack the usable wood up here and burn the rest. The burning has been tough this year. Either it's too windy, too rainy, too hot, or whatever. So probably them all taking advantage of the day and getting it done. Over here is the remnants of the flower garden. And oh, that'll be worked up next year. Our hope for next year, because we don't want to totally get rid of the wooded area over here. Not only for privacy, but to keep the ecosystem going a little bit on there. What we'll probably end up wanting to do is these two trees right here. We're probably going to clean up behind them. And then from that tree to there, and maybe all the way down the hill, right here where you can see, it goes right by the, behind the flower garden. We're going to be walking through there. So this will be the back of the flower garden here. And, you know, there's a lot of them still growing good, so, you know, probably keep them right there. And then right to about here to by where the pine tree is. And then come back over here is all going to be cleaned out. And we'll have a nice little area reclaimed right here. Whether we want to put something else on there or whatever, we have no idea yet. But right there is probably another good, probably 300 square feet of the yard reclaimed. This was overgrown last year right here between these trees all the way down. So again, another 200 feet claimed out of there. And again, for the wooded area, we will be planting more trees. Probably more coniferous ones and pine trees and that. If you know, not only for privacy, the damn leaves in the scrub trees. I do not care for that buckthorn. Sure, a lot of other people don't either, but it's a pain. I keep cutting it back. I keep reproducing. The more there, then we can get rid of, the better. And you know, it comes into with pine trees. It's like, you know, you either have shade or you can have you know, weather barrier. And well, I'm sorry, I got fans in the air conditioner. We can deal with that, and I'll choose the pines any day. And coming on to that too, we may pull some seeds off of this one. It's flat leaf arborvitae that's seeding pretty good up here back by the garden. So I'm gonna have to get my happy ass up on a ladder, pardon my pun, pull some of them seeds, and we'll see what we can do to get them started in that. And not like we want that stuff living all over the garage anyway, so again, that's okay. Is what it is. So anyway, that was about it for it. Like I said, Stevie's not too awake, so you get what you get today. We may be doing a few other short videos or whatever, depending on what we get on. Again, we got a lot of stuff to do. We got to put away some of the stuff we picked up yesterday, and possibly some indoor activities with this nice cool breeze and weather over here. So yeah, we'll have to see. So if nothing else, everybody have an awesome day, and we shall see you later.